Hi, Stephanie Scott Dockerman with The Athletic. You've come in here before as a player. You've been here broadcasting games for a long, long time. What's kind of how do you gauge the atmosphere here today for this game, and what does it mean going forward for the W to come to places like this and then actually and see the crowds and kind of bring the product here?
Yeah, I thought it was electric. It's what you've seen, whether it's from the outside on television or being here broadcasting, but to actually feel the energy. I mean, it is a thing when you talk about having a six man, so to speak. Crowd energy. It gives you a lift. It gives you a boost. It's why we all do what we do, like to feed into these kinds of environments. And so it was a lot of fun. I think for the WNBA and the opportunities that we have to bring our game to areas where fans can engage. Like oftentimes it's difficult for fans in the summertime to get to a WNBA city. And we have great college basketball fan bases throughout the country that deserve an opportunity to witness these women doing what they do at the highest level. And so I love these kinds of environments and opportunities for our team, for our league, and of course to bring special talents back home.
We're going to go in the back and then here we'll go.
Hi, Stephanie. Jack Ludo. I'm Jack Ludo with KCRG and TV9. The logo threes, I know this is an exhibition, but those logo threes beyond the logo threes for Caitlin seemed like prime examples of you and her teammates kind of letting Caitlin be Caitlin, so to speak. How do you balance that? And did it start like that, or did you kind of had to get off the reins a little bit, for lack of a better term?
I've been watching her do it for 4 years, 5 years really, so that's just who she is. It's what she does. I mean, nobody tells Steph Curry not to take good shots, right? But I do think that, sometimes there are time and score situations. Sometimes there are, we've just had 3 or 4 empty possessions. So really understanding the right times, understanding the moments. She knew she was coming out of the game, so she was going to take that logo three. So it was, it was a good momentum builder, and of course what everybody wants to see from Caitlin, especially in this arena.
It's Michael Volpe, ESPN. I guess first I want to ask Steph, did you ever taken 36 footers?
Never. That thing up there.
What did you sort of learn about your team today? We sort of asked you before and what you were looking for. You had a lot of kids play today. What were the sort of things you picked up from the team today?
First and foremost, that everybody was ready to go when their number was called. That is so important in this league to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. There are, and especially with our team, we're going to have quality depth at every position. And there are going to be some games where these women deserve to play and they're not going to play. There's going to be some games where they're in and out of rotation and they have to stay ready. Because when their number is called, they've got to be able to impact the game in a positive way. And so, number one, everybody was ready to go. Everybody impacted the game in a positive way. Number two, and this really carried over from our game yesterday against Washington, I thought our defense was really good. It wasn't perfect. Our coverages, our execution wasn't perfect, but our multiple levels of effort. We are going to be a team that gets into people on the defensive end. We have quality depth so we can play 94 feet. It is about working to minimize our miscommunications, minimize our mistakes, but establishing our will and who we're going to be on that end of the floor. I felt like the ball flowed a lot better offensively. We got some high quality shots, some really good looks. Still, our spacing isn't great all the time. We still want to play in transition a little bit more. I mean, lots of areas for growth for us, for sure, but I felt like we got better today.
There you go, Brad. Stop blowing.
Steph, we saw a bit of an edge from your team yesterday, a little different atmosphere with this today, but have you kind of felt that through this first week, that there's just a little bit of an attitude and a little bit of swagger, it seems, it's developing with this group?
Yeah, I mean, it's competitive spirit, and it's what competition is all about, and you bring in players who have the same kind of competitive edge, and they want to rip each other's hearts out. In practice, every single day, it's part of competing, and I know that sometimes we're not used to seeing that in women's sports, but it is what it is, right? Like, we want to compete, we want to be our best, we want to compete at a high level. We've got edgy players, we've got competitive players, and I guarantee you it doesn't matter if we're playing cards or if we're playing basketball. They want to win, and they want to do what it takes to win and position themselves to win. So I love that about this group. It means that we don't waste time in practice. They don't waste reps. They don't waste moments we have to get better, and it really is a joy to coach.
Did you come in with any of those big threes? Like she started out with that first three. Was that planned by any means
No.
to set the stage?
I
The way she
wish.
read. Yeah.
No, we're not that good. Our coaches aren't that, we're not that good.
And then how much different? What's the dynamic like when she is in there? You saw one game without, one game with. How does she change things?
But everybody's aware of where she is on the floor. It helps her spacing, her ability to move the ball, to make the right read and the right play. She can stretch the floor, but everybody's focused on her coverage, right? And so oftentimes she's going to get 2 and 3 defenders that have their eyes on her, so it's going to open up things for everybody else. And so it was nice to have that on the floor, nice to have another ball handler on the floor. I don't think we moved her off the ball as much as I would have liked to today. But again, just having her back out there and having her presence on the floor, her competitive spirit, and of course in this environment for the Iowa Hawkeye fans to be able to see her and for her to be able to enjoy another ride here in Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Yeah, just Michaela Timpson came in for a second quarter, drew a few fouls. What impressed you about her today?
The thing that impresses me the most about KK is just her poise. She doesn't get rushed. She stays patient. If she doesn't know what to do, she doesn't get antsy. And that's something you can't teach, and I'm really impressed with that. Her activity level is really good on the defensive end of the floor. I think that when you look at her and you watch her in college, she really is just scratching the surface of her ability. And she's played in different types of systems, and she was late to the game. So her upside is incredible, but her poise to me right now is the most impressive thing.